Now, on behalf of the European Commission, Commissioner Neven Mimica. Take the floor, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, honourable members. Belarus' relations with the European Union continue to be driven by a policy of critical engagement. The most recent events in the lead-up to the Freedom Day in Belarus on the 25th of March confirmed the need to maintain a critical approach in our bilateral relations. In reaction, we issued a statement pointing out that despite the international community's calls for restraint, the response by the security services, including preventive arrests beforehand and the detention of a large number of peaceful protesters on the 25th of March itself, were indiscriminate and inappropriate. We further noted that such limitations to the freedom of expression and assembly are in contradiction with Belarus' stated policy of democratization as well as its international commitments. We called for the immediate release of all recently detained peaceful citizens. Belarus has taken a number of positive steps in recent years. These include the proactive participation of Belarus in the Eastern Partnership and in the interim phase on modernization issues, the resumption of the EU-Belarus human rights dialogue, the start of negotiations on visa facilitation and readmission agreements, and on a mobility partnership, the active pursuit of cooperation in harmonization of digital markets, and the signature of a cooperation agreement on an early warning mechanism in the energy sector. Belarus has also played an increasingly constructive role in the region, notably with regard to the conflict in eastern Ukraine. After careful consideration and with the support of Member States, including the local heads of mission in Minsk, and following a discussion in the Political and Security Committee, it was decided to proceed with the EU-Belarus Coordination Group meeting on the 3rd and 4th of April, understanding that this was an opportunity to pass strong and unambiguous messages to Belarusian interlocutors at an appropriate level. A specific session of the meeting was dedicated to human rights and political freedoms. This is exactly what we mean by critical engagement. Formats such as the Coordination Group and the annual Human Rights Dialogue allows us to reiterate our commitment to a stable, democratic and prosperous future for Belarus for the benefit of its people. A range of subjects of particular importance to civil society were discussed at the meeting, including mobility, people-to-people contacts, trade, education and social security. The European Union also raised issues related to the registration of political parties, as well as the reinstatement of civil and political rights of former political prisoners. In addition, separate meetings took place with Belarusian human rights defenders, civil society representatives and members of political opposition movements. The European Union will also raise these issues at the next Human Rights Dialogue, which is scheduled to take place prior to the summer. As stated in the Council conclusions of 15th of February 2016, the European Union is open to the further development of EU-Belarus relations and to enhance political relations and sectoral cooperation in the appropriate context. At the same time, tangible steps taken by Belarus to respect universal fundamental freedoms, rule of law and human rights will remain key for the shaping of the EU's future policy towards Belarus. We take note of today's resolution on Belarus and share the concerns expressed. We will continue to closely observe action by Belarus with regard to freedom of speech, assembly and association as we take our policy forward. Thank you.